one of the trailers that was premiered at San Diego Comic-Con was for the Clone Wars. Do you remember Star Wars?
I do, sort of.
It's weird. This is this trailer and then the two DC movie trailers. I kind of like lump them together in that they're franchises that everybody's kind of done with. Everybody's sick of them. They've been turned off by them. So now to release trailers, I can't imagine anyone being hyped anymore. The only people that are still hyped for these franchises are like weirdos. So I don't know anything to say about Clone Wars. I never watched the cartoon. Lucasfilm is in full on, how can we salvage this disaster mode?
You got more favorite characters.
Yeah.
As opposed to Rebels, which I don't know who was in that. There was a bunch of weirdos. But you got favorite characters. You know, you got your Darth Vader, your Yoda, your Obi-Wan Kenobi, your Emperor Palpatine. I saw a graphic on the internet of 6 Star Wars related things like coming out in 2019, and I was like, what? Is this fake?
Well, it seems to be. And
I don't know what's going on in the world anymore. I'm elderly.
I feel like they're going to scale it back now after Last Jedi, and then especially after Solo flops.
Why? What's wrong with The Last Jedi? You hate women?
Absolutely, but that movie was obviously very divisive. Because of that, nobody went to see Solo.
You think that was a direct result? Wow, this is a shocking opinion.
I think it's related. I'm not saying it's completely it. I think people just don't care about Solo, and that's a big problem, like that movie specifically. But there's definitely a low point in interest for Star Wars, but they just seem to have like no plan, and they're just throwing everything out there. Like Rian Johnson's going to get a trilogy, even though that probably won't happen now, but that, and then Jon Favreau's getting a TV show or another trilogy.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things that was on there.
Yeah, it's just like all these things that they just keep throwing out.
You know, it's a good analogy. White trash winning the lottery. Do you know what I mean? Here, white trash. Here's $100 million. Oh, gee whiz!
I'm gonna buy a mansion and a car, and we're gonna.
I'm gonna buy a mansion. I'm gonna give $10 million to my brother Cletus. I'm gonna buy this. You have to pay taxes on that. Oh, you can't do that because you have to maintain upkeep on owning 15 horses, and that costs $100,000 a year for. I went bankrupt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where that level of success was just dumped in the lap of somebody. Kind of like with Marvel, they started with Iron Man.
Yeah.
Slowly built
There's a
it
little
up.
tease for the Avengers at the end of that, but if they never went any further than that movie, it just works as a little tease.
Sure, but
it's fine.
They built up their empire. With Star Wars, they just...
No pun intended.
George Lucas got a check for $4 billion, and he said, here, have fun.
Yeah.
He's a smart man. He knows when to make his decisions. He knew when to say, hey, let me have those toy rights. You can have distribution, but just give me the toy rights. He knows when to make his moves.
Yes.
And he knew, like, you guys take this.
Yeah.
It's done.
He saw the writing on the wall.
For all the heat George Lucas takes, he is a smart man who knows when to move his pieces on the chessboard. And he threw a grenade in their lap. But yeah,
it's not his fault that they took it and just immediately oversaturated it, though.
Well, it's again, my analogy is you have this property that you're drooling.
Yeah.
You're literally drooling.
Think of all the things we can do with this.
How much money?
Theme parks.
Yes. Yeah. Like someone who lives in a trailer park and is handed $100 million. That person doesn't go, well, I'm going to invest over the next 10 years. I'm just going to buy I'm going to buy like a Prius and move into a 1-bedroom condo. And then I'm going to take my money and, they don't think that way.
Right.
They go, wah! and that's what Disney did.
Yeah.